Hi, I'm Paloma Schaefer. Today I'm going to discuss constitutional rights within disaster policies. Throughout this presentation, we will analyze how the Constitution directly influences how the government implements emergency management policies and provide examples of past times that Americans' constitutional rights were violated because of a disaster. A disaster is a dangerous event that causes significant human and economic loss and demands a crisis response beyond the scope of any single agency or jurisdiction. Most people hear disaster and they think of natural disasters like hurricanes, tornadoes, or floods. But a disaster can be man-made as well and includes acts of terror. FEMA's role is to prepare and respond to all domestic disasters, both natural and man-made. The Constitution is the supreme law of the United States. It contains the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments in the Constitution. The Bill of Rights places specific limitations on government and protects individuals' liberties. Understanding our rights is important to understanding how they shape government policies. While there is nothing in the Constitution about disaster policies or FEMA, the 10th Amendment gives the state and the people in them the power to handle their own disaster response policies. The 10th Amendment states that any right not delegated to the U.S. by the Constitution are reserved to the states. Local and state governments' ability to deal with disasters on their own is the foundation of bottom-up implementation for emergency response. This essentially means that the local government has to request assistance from the state government, and the state has to request assistance from the federal government. This stops higher levels of government from stepping in and taking over before they are called to do so, and sets up the roles and responsibilities for each level of government. Unfortunately, sometimes our constitutional rights are violated. Hurricane Katrina is a good example of how sometimes our rights are violated during an emergency management response or due to damage from a disaster. After the hurricane, the police superintendent of the city of New Orleans announced that civilians were not allowed to carry weapons such as firearms or pistols. Only police officers were allowed to be armed. While this was an attempt to stop armed looters and to restore order to the city, it was a violation of our Second Amendment right to bear arms. Another issue that arose from Katrina was having to postpone trials in many areas due to the damage. This violates individuals' Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial. It's important that we know and understand the Constitution and our rights so we can ensure our rights are not being violated, and we can understand the government's role in disaster response. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.